Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. You're watching Mufti. I'm Mufti and I love tea. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to make one of my most favorite drinks, and that is nothing more than spicy chai, or as some call it, dirty chai, or it's also known as masala chai or chai masala. We all know that spicy chai, which I like to call it, or chai masala, is basically a black tea, and it's safe to say that this style of tea, its origin, its preparation, what it's known for, comes from India, or the Indian subcontinent, or the other countries and regions surrounding India. Let's not get too deep, too technical with regards to politics and political correctness. Right now, let's just say India. All right, fair enough. Okay. With that being said, spicy chai, and obviously this is our exclusive homemade blend, which is, alhamdulillah, totally authentic. It's organic, it's homemade, all natural ingredients, nothing from the store, nothing from a box or a can, even though it's actually in a can. But you guys get the point that I'm trying to make. We put it in the can ourselves. We canned it and we can it ourselves. So you can see some of what's in it. Alright, and obviously it's in an exclusive recipe, so everything cannot be, shared or told, whatever the case may be. Alright, so with that being said, this is our chai. Let's pour it out. MashaAllah. You see that? Okay. Alright. Okay, this is one version, one version. Obviously, some of the ingredients you can recognize, other ingredients you can't necessarily recognize. Now, obviously, your spicy chai or your chai masala is going to be stock. The stock of it is going to be a black tea, predominantly an Assam, or maybe in a mixture, but let's say right now Assam. And the Assam tea that you're going to use for this type of tea is going to be CTC, what is known as CTC, cut, torn, curled. Alright, we can't explain too much of that right now. What's important is this is the tea. I'm not here to talk about all of the ingredients right now, or all of the the entire background of it. This is a tutorial on how to make it, on how to prepare it, inshallah ta'ala. So the first thing that you're going to need for this preparation, of course, will be the tea. Will be Muftea. Muftea special blend of chai masala. And of course, you can use whatever blend you wish to use, whatever blend that you may have. Alright. One of the things that you're going to need to make this recipe of spicy chai or chai masala, of course, you're going to need some type of pot. Something to boil your water, your tea, your milk, etc. in. What I choose is a glass kettle, cup thingy. You can use metal, you can use Pyrex, whatever you like, as long as it's tempered well and that it can hold the heat without cracking or without scorching or burning everything on the bottom. So this is what I'm going to use in this video, which is a simple, basic, easy glass mug pot thingy. Alright, of course you're going to need some type of heat. Right now I have an electric stove top. I would prefer a gas stove top, gas, electric, whatever. Alright, next thing you're going to need is milk. You want to need milk. You can use fresh milk, you can use evaporated milk, sweetened condensed milk, but right now we're going to use fresh whole fat milk, not 2%, full regular normal milk. And let's say I'm going to use a cup of milk to start off with. Next thing you're going to need, of course, is water, and you're going to need good water. The better the water, inshallah, the better your tea. So whether you're using spring water, whether you're using distilled water, purified water, for argument's sake, if you use good old spigot tap water, But the better water, the finer your water, the better quality water, inshallah, the better your tea will be. Inshallah ta'ala. But to be honest, obviously we're cooking right now black tea, this spicy tea. So it's not as delicate and fine as something such as, you know, some green teas or some white teas, in which every single little tiny detail is important. But we want to advise you to use good quality water. All right, what's the first thing that we want to do is we want to get our heat going. And inshallah ta'ala, we want to have full heat. We want to bring this water to a full, strong boil. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. That's first and foremost. All right. So let's say, for example, depending on how much tea you want to make, the ratio of the teaspoon of tea to the water. For this recipe, the milk, it can go either way. But let's say we're going to use 1.5 cups of water and a cup of milk. All right, for our ratio. Bismillah. Okay. Now that's 1.5 cups. Let's play it safe and let's use 3 cups of water. 3 cups of water, inshallah. We have our 3 cups. I'm trying to bring that to a boil. All right. Let that get hot. Let that boil. The next thing that we want to do in the night time is we're going to bring our tea. So we have 3 cups of water and a cup of milk. So that's 4 cups of liquid. So let's use, inshallah ta'ala, a full, healthy teaspoon of tea that we want to bring to a boil. Let's let our water boil first, then we're going to add our tea. Our Muftea spicy chai, inshallah ta'ala. And approximate time that you'll need for this recipe is, let's say, 30 minutes. 30 minutes. 20 to 30 minutes, 30 minutes to be safe. We need 10 full minutes for the water and the tea to boil and infuse, which gives us our first version of the liquor. And then we need 20 minutes or 15 minutes for our milk to boil, infuse, and darken. All right. So we see the water's boiling well. Right. It's getting there. And like I said, you want something good, of good quality. And the advantage of the glass is that you can see the color. You can see exactly what's going on with your tea from above, like a metal pot or wooden pot. Okay. But the advantage of the glass is that you can also see from the side. So I get every single detail, every single nook and cranny of my water. So if I wasn't making black tea and I was making a tea that requires a lower temperature, as we mentioned in our video on the 3 deadly mistakes to avoid, and that is improper water temperature, I can gauge the little bubbles, the little fish eyes bubbling and popping up from the bottom. I can't do that with a metal pot, right? Wallahu ta'ala alam. Alright, so it's almost ready. Alright, we got a lot of bubbles now. It's about to boil. Let's say it's safe enough to put our tea in. Bismillah. Alright. You can stir it in if you like. If not, you can let it, find and figure out its own course. What's important is we want our tea to cook well with our water before any milk. Before any milk, okay? Clockwise, counterclockwise. Very important step. Clockwise first, counterclockwise afterwards. Alright? Now this is going to sit for how long we say? 10 minutes. And the sign that the tea and liquor is ready for the milk. The partnership. Right? This jointure. Right? The marriage between the tea liquor and the milk. The sign that they're ready to get married, inshallah ta'ala, is that your whole kitchen should smell. You should smell it. If you can't smell those herbs and spices with the water, that good old steam coming out with all of that nice aroma, then Allahu Alam, the quality of your tea, of your chai masala. Oh man, Allahu Akbar. What a pleasant aroma. Alright, so let that sit for 20 minutes, right? You want to let that get dark. And you can monitor it. You can look. You might need more tea. Maybe a teaspoon. A teaspoon isn't enough. You want to add a little more, 2 teaspoons, stronger. That depends on you, how strong you want your flavor to be. But good tea, you don't need but so much. Good quality stuff. Alright, now what we're going to do, you can remove it for a second, let it calm down. It's been boiling for a while. Let's look at our color, look at our hue, look at it from the side, look at it from the bottom, right? You want to inspect your tea. You want to see what's going on. Is it sticking? Is it burning? Is it clumping on top? What necessary adjustments need to be made? Let's bring it down to a medium heat now. A medium heat. Let's get all of that good tea. A medium heat now. You want all of that? A medium heat, okay? Medium heat. Medium heat. Medium heat. Now for the next step, we have to be very careful not to make a mess. You want to bring your heat down. You want to simmer it now. And now let's add our friend, the milk. Bismillah. Of course, we got to be careful because you know the milk will fluster up, bubble up, overpour. So you don't want to have it on a high fire anymore. Look at the color already. You know how hungry and thirsty I am while I'm making this video. Give it a good stir. You already see the color transformation. Depends on how. Don't forget clockwise first in the wrist. Counterclockwise in the wrist. Counterclockwise. Slow it down. Stop it. Clockwise. I'm going to give this one semi-medium heat. You're going to get that 20 minutes of cooking. You want a nice rich color. We don't want it too dark, but we don't want it too light and too pale. We want it just in the middle. Alright? And after our 20 minutes pass by, you'll see some things start to change and develop with your tea. Alright? We'll get there inshallah. From the benefits of the 20 minutes, obviously the brewing, the spice, the tea, everything infusing well, cooking well, the smell gets you, more into, ready to drink it, more into the mood of drinking it, is the darkness of the color and the thickness of the milk without being too thick. Alright, so what do we have after 20 minutes? What has developed? What has changed? How do I know my tea is done without the time? You see a little slick coating of milk. See that right there? That's what you want. You want that coating of milk. That's exactly what you want. It's one of the signs that your tea, your chai masala, your spicy chai, your dirty chai is ready to go. Alright, a few last steps, which are of no less importance. Necessary ingredients. The aroma, mashallah, at this point is beyond words. Sweetening your chai masala. I prefer to use brown sugar. Good raw organic brown sugar, specifically coming from Guyana. West Demerara, my humble opinion, produces some of the best brown sugar in the world. Shout out to all the disciples from the lands of Guyana. So there are two methods. Method one is to sweeten the tea in its final steps and stages of cooking. Method two is to sweeten the tea by taste in your pot or your cup, depending on how many people you plan on serving. Everybody clear on that, inshallah ta'ala? So what is the equation of water tea that we have here so far? And we see the color as well. If you guys can see the color, the hue, right? Not too dark, definitely not too light, right? Inshallah, hopefully right in the middle. Another thing that we want to need, a strainer. I would prefer that it'll be stainless steel, food grade strainer, alright? For a pot or for a cup. And for real, you don't even need a strainer if you like, you know, the bits and pieces of the tea being in the bottom of your cup, which you can eat them. You can chew on them. It adds flavor, it adds texture, it adds to the whole entire tea experience. So look at the perfection of our heat right now. The milk is not boiling over out of our pot, but at the same time it's, look at that. It's vigorous boil, right? Bang. Perfect temperature. Not too much heat in which the milk is overflowing, nor too little heat. Now, as we always say, learn the form but seek the formless. You have the option and you have the choice of adding more tea at this stage, putting in the sweetener, or you can even add more milk if you don't think it's creamy enough or frothy enough for your specific likings. Alright, so let's try to add some sweetener right now, inshallah. Let's try with I think this is half of a teaspoon. So let's do 1 teaspoon of sugar. Let's give it a stir. You don't want it too sweet, nor do you want it without no sweetener if you want it sweetened. That depends on your specific taste. Me personally, I can drink it with no sugar, or I can drink it with a little or a little more than, you know, moderate or mid-range type of, you know, sweetness level. Excuse my lack of good English. Let that cook for a little bit. 1 more teaspoon. Let that boil, let that infuse. Like we said before, there are worlds within worlds, levels within levels. There are schools of thought, there are madhabs of making tea. We're beginners, so we want to keep things simple and easy for the beginner. Give that a couple more minutes. Alright, so you see that up there? You see that layer of milk? This is what you do when you allow the tea to sit for a second and you don't take it directly from the pot to your cup. You get a nice, see that? Look at that. You get a nice little layer of all of that rich cooked milk and all of its flavor. And the moment of truth comes. It's like forging a sword, right? If the the proper steps were followed, good solid ingredients were used, tested methods were applied, then we'll have a good sword, a good blade. And if not, then all of those hours and all of that money that we spent will be wasted. Will be wasted, right? All right. Bismillah. How does it look, guys? You guys like my vintage, huh? Chai glass. What do you think? What about the color? So what do you guys think about the color so far? So here we go. There's our chai masala, or spicy or dirty chai. And of course, as Muslims, you know, before we drink, we say Bismillah. And of course, we sit down when we drink, whether it's obligatory or recommended, whether it's haram to drink standing or disliked, is preferred for sure. Agreed upon that it's the best thing to do, a good thing to do, a virtuous thing to do, to sit while drinking. And of course, we drink with our right hand. We don't scarf down or scoff down the food. We don't necessarily, just gulp it down like that. We take pauses, we take breaks, we take breaths, whether that's obligatory or recommended. And if you're drinking with other people, and we'll make videos about that, the tea etiquette, and the different types of tea and tea ceremonies in which you're supposed to share the same cup or the same bowl. You should not blow on the bowl. Don't cool it off, and don't breathe into it if you're going to pass it around, because other people are going to become annoyed and harmed by your spit and your saliva and you breathing over the drink that they have to share with you. All right. As far as when you're by yourself, can you blow the steam? Can you blow over your vessel or your glass or your bowl? It's best not to. Just stay away from it if you can, inshallah ta'ala. And if it's too hot for you, wait for it to cool down. Instead of blowing on it, it's the best thing to do. But for sure, that hadith applies to when you're with other people. All right. So let's give it a shot. Bismillah. MashaAllah, it's excellent. Great taste. Full-bodied. It has a depths of flavor. The milk is hitting my tongue, my palate, my taste buds. Then I have the actual black tea. Then there's the cardamom and the allspice and this one and that one. Then there's a little bit of sweetener, which is, pulling up the rear, or it's chasing it, right? And it's all blended. It's a medley of flavor, alhamdulillah, in every sip. Not too sweet, not too bitter. It's very smooth. Very important thing when it comes to making chai is that you want it smooth. You don't want it too bitter. And you don't want it too weak either, and flat. Alhamdulillah. I wish you guys could sit here and drink this chai with me. I really appreciate you guys watching the video. Hopefully the tutorial was enlightening. Hopefully you learned something. And if you didn't learn anything, then perhaps it reminded you of something that you already knew or that you already were practicing. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Please share your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. Your criticisms, destructive and constructive. And be on the lookout for Muftea.com, in which we're going to be selling Muftea. And once again, I'm Mufti. You're watching Muftea, and I love tea. Sensational.